Hey friends, welcome to the final day of my countdown to Christmas. All week long I've been releasing cookie recipes and decorating tutorials, and I really hope that you found this useful. If you haven't already, now is a great time to click subscribe. I'm going to be releasing a lot more recipes and tutorials in the new year, and I don't want you to miss out. So for my final video today, I'm going to be showing you a chocolate cookie recipe. My sister shared this with me a couple years ago, and it quickly became my go-to recipe whenever I needed a chocolate cookie. This cookie borders on brownie levels of fudginess, so if you're a chocoholic, this is definitely the cookie for you. I hope you like it as much as I do. Check it out. The full written recipe is in the description box below. Alright, so I am measuring my flour using the dump and scrape method, so putting the measuring cup in the bag of flour, tilting the bag and letting the flour just fall into the measuring cup, then leveling it off, putting that into my sifter along with some Dutch processed cocoa powder, baking powder, and kosher salt, and then just passing that through the sieve to kind of incorporate and get out any lumps. Next, I'm going to cream the butter and sugar, so I'm adding the room temperature butter and granulated sugar to the mixing bowl of my stand mixer fitted with a paddle attachment, and then I'm going to mix this over medium-high speed just for 2 to 3 minutes, just to get the butter kind of aerated and light and fluffy. Now that the mixture has lightened up, I'm going to turn the mixer off, add in my 2 eggs, and then resume mixing to incorporate the eggs. Now over a very low speed, I'm going to add in my prepared dry ingredients. Once the dry ingredients are mostly incorporated, I'm going to turn the speed up just briefly to ensure that it's evenly incorporated. I'm going to be careful not to overmix this because I don't want to develop the gluten and have a tough cookie. So this is what the finished dough looks like. You can see that it's a little bit wetter than most other rollout doughs, but don't be tempted to add additional flour. And now I'm using my prepared method for rolling out the dough, so taking it directly from the mixing bowl between a layer of parchment paper, rolling this out to between 1/4 inch and 3/8 of an inch. I've got my measuring bands on my rolling pin, so it's nice and even. After letting the dough chill, I just remove it from the refrigerator and it's ready to cut out into whatever shapes you want to use. So I like cutting out this really cold dough because it stays in the cookie cutter so well. And again, placing the cookie cutter as close together as possible to ensure that I'm minimizing the amount of scraps I have. You can re-roll these scraps as many times as you need to, but the more you re-roll, the more you develop the gluten, and developing gluten results in a tougher cookie. These cookies don't have a color change when baking since they're so dark to start with. So what you want to look for when you're rotating these halfway through is how the edge of the cookie looks. You should be able to tell that it's starting to set and look more like a cookie versus dough, and that's when you know it's done. And this is the finished product. You can enjoy the cookies as is, or you can dress these up with royal icing like in my decorating tutorials.